Now then, do you remember about a year ago or something I fixed this industrial motor? It had a gearbox on the end, and I've been hunting high and low to find out where I put that gearbox. No, it's evaporated for the moment, and I bet you tomorrow I'll turn round and there it is, sat there staring me in the face. But never mind. I mean, I work on the principle of things of a similar nature all go in the same place. So I've looked in the pile of gearboxes and it's not there, so I don't know what I've done with it. But besides the point, effectively, yeah, what I did was I unbolted it and we just got a shaft sticking out with a keyway. Okay, so that's great. And the problem with the gearbox was that the output was something like 24 revs, really slow. And for the purposes, well, I want to use it in my pottery wheel because the motor's alright, and this is one that Owen gave me 2 or 3 years ago. That's Boots Owen, the channel. And it's been great, but I'm just having this feeling that it needs an upgrade. Yeah, the motor was seized when I got it, and it's one of these universal brush AC motors, and I cleaned it all up and de-seized the phosphor bronze oil light type bushers. Yeah, they're those sort of balls that are self-aligning. So they're great, but yeah, I think this would be better. One of the problems is you start really pushing on the wheel and the motor slows down. So anyway, so it was 23 revs or something like that, which would mean that I would have to gear up. Yeah, because I think the wheel needs to go something like 150 to 180 revs flat out, but of course you want variable speed. And we've got the circuit board here, and it's an industrial one, so that's fine, that'll do. So hopefully the revs on this one are 1750. Yeah, so I dug out a pulley, 2-stage pulley, and I'm going to use the small one, and I bored it out so it fits, and it's quite tight, which is great. So that's the update so far. I'm going to try and fit this, and I don't think I'm going to video it because it's fiddly and difficult, and I want to think about what I'm doing. But this motor is foot mounted, so we can bolt it on the inner side. Hello, flat battery. Okay, this is a bit of a proof of concept. We have a secondary belt pulley down there. In fact, hang on, let's move the camera. There we go, you can just about see it. And then there's another one back there. Okay, and there is the original motor. So as a quick proof of concept, we just put a board across there, put the motor in place, yeah, on the small pulley, and wired it up. And what happens? So it works, but the wheel's going too slow. But we do have various options. First of all, the bigger pulley on the motor, which is about twice the size. But let's just see if we got plenty of power. I think the belt is slipping. And we've got the speed controller in place, so let's just have a look at that. Let's just turn it down. There we go. There's the speed controller, and it's got various pots on it. Okay, so here's a bit of a strange angle of this speed controller, and I thought it was something obscure, but it's not. It's a KB MM225 KB Electronics, and if you look at it you think that's pretty old, but it's still available, so obviously it's a very reliable, or I assume it's a reliable design. So I did find a manual, and there's an explanation of all these. It's switched off at the moment. There's loads of trim pots everywhere, and so having learnt about that, I was able to actually adjust the speed a bit more of the wheel on this board. So let's just go and have a look at the diagram. Okay, right, there's that fuse we were looking at, and the two trim pots. That's deceleration time, that's acceleration time, and I've left those alone. Then further down here, where the connection to the twiddler is, we've got one here which is maximum speed, max, and that one there is minimum speed. So if you have that turned up too much, the wheel will not stop. So you've got to turn it down to the point where it just stops buzzing, or perhaps a bit more, but there you go. And this one, if you turn this up too much, the wheel's going too quick. So we've put that bigger pulley on the motor, maybe unnecessarily, but there is a benefit because it's got a bigger pulley, it's got bigger surface area to the belt, so there's more traction. So that's a good thing. And then you've got some more over here, trim pots. One is current limiting, and if you have that set lowish, then it limits the current, and an LED lights up, a red LED, at least I'm assuming it's red. And that one is, it's a bit of a funny one, that one. It's like, okay, we're up to full load and we're starting to slow down, so you can adjust how much extra you can give it. That's how I read it. Then we've got an output fuse, and there's the motor. So it's very useful to having found that, and then I can understand it, and then trim the speed accordingly. But I haven't actually done anything with the original motor drive. So if none of this sort of works, we can always go back to that motor drive. So let's just have a look and see. I mean, maybe the secondary belt is a bit slack, which is slipping, something like that. But we'll have a look. Right. So let's just have a look at these pulleys. That's the pulley that's on the main shaft that goes to the wheel. And that belt goes to that intermediate pulley. There's obviously a smaller one on the underside. And then there was a belt from the motor there to this big pulley. So I've just flipped that belt off and changed it. That motor, when I first got this, it was okay, but it's been used and it grumbles and groans, and I don't think it's powerful enough, and so therefore we're just doing this. So there you get the idea, yeah. And here we are now. This is all on wobbly cam, yep. So I tried the bigger pulley on that aluminium 2-stage pulley and it wasn't good enough, and then I found this in amongst my miscellaneous assorted Fenner taper locks. I found this pulley here, and as you can see I had to shim it because I didn't have the right taper lock, but that's alright. And I have a different belt, a slightly smaller belt that will fit probably a bit better. So I'm just going to swap that over and we'll give it a road test. If I can stand up without shaking the camera too much, because the wheel at the moment's on its side. But as you can see, we've got things mostly sorted. I'll change that belt and get back to you. So I've changed the belt. That fits better, doesn't it? It's a bit worn, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So it's tight enough. There's the spec on this motor for anybody who wants to know. 180 volts, 1.4 amps, 1750 revs, permanent magnet. Yeah, 1/4 of a horsepower. So let's just see. Continuous duty. I'll put a link to the repair video for this. So we've still got things to do. Put the cover on that, and because this is a permanent magnet DC motor, if you wanted it to go the other way, you just swap the wires around. So now I've put the fan on the on the back. We can put the cowling on that, so it's all coming together. So let's just tip it over and put some power to it. Okay, as you can see, I've been road testing this for a week or so. Been doing some bigger bowls, just experimenting. It seems to be fine. Things have bedded down a bit. The controller there obviously gets covered in clay, but it's all tightly bolted to the plastic case, which is not a problem. I don't really like that controller just enclosed in that case, so I think we could do with a fan in there just to help with cooling. Although on that old machine that I got that motor and controller from what I remember, that controller was just bolted to the case with a tin cover over it. So maybe it was the case that wicked the heat away. But the back of it is quite thick aluminium of the controller, so there's quite a decent heat sink there. But I don't want it to build up. I want to look after it. So that's that. Let's just try it. Let me show you. It really is a magnificently different from the previous motor. The previous one, I mean, it was fine and it was free, and again thanks to Owen for the donation. But you would start throwing, and as soon as you put any pressure on the clay, the motor would slow down. Yeah, it's not the case now. And I'll just grip hold of the wheel. Yeah, that's so much better. It did virtually stop there, and you could see a combination of that bigger pulley and adjusting the speed controller. It's a lot better, and I could turn it up more if I wanted to, but I don't think it needs to go any faster than that. I did turn it up once and it started to show it's out of balance, put it like that. Started to sort of vibrate a bit, so I reckon that is fine. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and if any water got onto there, which it doesn't seem like it does, could always put a little bit of something just here. There we go. So there you go. Now, a lot of people would have scrapped that DC motor, and I'm going to put a link to the repair at the end of this video, but my experience with building small scale wind turbines and using high voltage permanent magnet DC industrial motors as generators taught me that, yeah, take it apart and check it out. And commonly, if things get hot, the glue for the permanent magnets does sort of eventually come adrift. So I think this is great. That speed controller, they're readily available, and the design doesn't seem to have changed that much, so I want to look after that. But if it goes, I can always replace it, or I can go back to the old motor in a worst case scenario, although I wouldn't be very entertained by that now. So I've been throwing some bigger pots because the wheel has got more power, and that's great. So let's have a conversation. Any comments? Yeah, let me know what you think, and we shall be cracking on with another video soon. Cheers for now.